Schmack-a-magobbin, happy Halloween! Hey, I'm going to do a review on my favorite King Diamond album, man. Fatal Portrait. Now, this was supposed to be the next Merciful Fate album. These songs were written for the next Merciful Fate album. And it is the closest to Merciful Fate since the King Diamond, from all the King Diamond albums. If you don't know, I interviewed Kim Ruz, and Kim Ruz was supposed to be on this, but he wanted to keep the name Merciful Fate. Therefore, they did it without him. But Timmy Hansen and Michael Denner joined because Merciful Fate broke up because Hank Sherman was going into a more poppy direction, and King didn't want to do that. So he recruited Mickey D and Andy LaRocque on guitar and Mickey D on drums, and wow, what an album. Now, like I said, it is the closest to a Merciful Fate album, but it does sound like a completely different band because when you take Kim Ruz out of the equation, he had more of that organic nature playing. It was very, I don't know, man, it speaks more to my heart, but Mickey D is a monster drummer, as you all know. Went on to Don Dokken, Motorhead, and now in the Scorpions. So, let's get into this. This is a short story. Most King Diamond albums, I believe all King Diamond's albums except for this one, The Eye and Spider Lullaby, are the only ones that are not completely concept albums. And this one, side one, is part of the story. And the final song, The Haunted, is the conclusion of the story. And it's a story about a mother that put her daughter Molly in an attic, and she died, I don't know, starved to death or whatever. And the way this album starts, it starts with the song The Candle, where it starts with a narration where it's like 7 years has gone by since this all happened. And this guy, every time he lit up a candle, he would see Molly's face. And but after Molly died, the mother painted a portrait of Molly and put it over the fireplace. And then the portrait started talking to her. And she burned the portrait, and that freed Molly from its chains. And it drove the mother so crazy that she ended up killing herself. That's the story of Fatal Portrait. And man, you know, recently I will say what song was my favorite King Diamond song, but it now has been pushed down to third place because my favorite King Diamond song is oh my god, now I can't remember it. Sleepless Nights from Conspiracy. That song has everything, you know, and I remember listening to it like, you know, maybe a year or so ago going, no man, this is better than what I thought. But now my second favorite, which wasn't the case before, it was another song on here that was my first favorite, is Candle, The Candle. This song is just so awesome. Starting with the eerie narration and the band coming in, and you can tell right away, you know, Mickey D, what he brings to the band. I'm telling you, drummers do a world of difference to a band. And, you know, Mickey D is like a perfect drumming machine. And Andy LaRocque, wow, man, that guy. The addition of that guy is just amazing, who is still in King Diamond. And King Diamond has a thing where he just keeps one original member, you know, these days. Hank Sherman in Merciful Fate, Andy LaRocque in King Diamond. But The Candle, what can I say? It's my favorite song. And yeah, the last time I saw King, I believe it was the first encore. I was like, yes. Then The Jonah, which starts off with this really weird sound, and it goes into this doominess, and, you know, King doing that operatic woo, and, you know, it's just awesome. It's kind of like just driving along mid-tempo, heaviness. The Jonah, my God, that song rules. And then the next one I think even rules harder, The Portrait. Another amazing song. You know, it's just more in your face, more uplifting, more speedy, and it just crushes, man. I love it. Now, the next song was my favorite. Dressed in White, now it's my second favorite. No, third favorite. I even put The Portrait above it now, but Dressed in White. What a song. What a song. What a way to end the story up till now, because you're going to have a bunch of songs that have nothing to do with it till the last song, but she's wearing white again, but colors never betray. You never. Again, you know, almost speed metal-ish, you know, and, you know, I hear, you know, a dash of thrash here and there, and on this whole album, really. I mean, this album's just phenomenal, man. And that ends side 1. Now, going to side 2 with the song Karen, which, man, this is total Merciful Fate. But again, it sounds different. It doesn't sound like Merciful Fate. All because of Kim. I really believe it's because of Kim Russ. You know, Kim Russ had that Fate sound that was never replicated on future Merciful Fate albums with all the reunion albums. Though I do love those albums. Don't get me wrong. You know, I love them. But you know, it just doesn't have that feel. You know, there was something magical about those 4 or 5 members, man. Even Tim and Michael, Hank, and King. There was this chemistry that I put them, man, right there with Black Sabbath as my all-time favorite band. 80s Fate, 70s Sabbath, my favorite band. But Karen, you know, the whole, you know, welcome my friend, you know, going across the river Styx, you know, see, the whole satanic vibe that Merciful Fate carried through their 2 albums and EP. Love it. Then the next one, man, Lurking in the Dark. That's a grower. I gotta be honest, man. The first time I heard this album, I didn't really think much of it. I don't know why. Because I give that song a solid 10 now. And it's a song that gets stuck in my head a lot. Out of all these songs, it gets stuck in my head the most. And, you know, again, the way King sings that song, you know, that falsetto thing he does, and, you know, it's something, and I love when he goes, "There's something wrong." King rules. Lurking in the Dark. 7, Halloween, which I think may have been the single, which I have the single, the Halloween single, and I love the back picture. I had Andy LaRocque sign this when I saw the House of God tour, where it's the band, but you see like King Diamond coming through the wall. And where's Andy's autograph? Right there. I don't know if you can make it out. So that was the single, and today is Halloween. You know, actually, technically today's October 1st, but I'm in the Halloween spirit on October 1st and said, I'm going to make a Fatal Portrait review and put it up on Halloween. So I'm going to schedule it for Halloween, but I knew him well, Horatio. So yeah, King Diamond, Halloween is probably the most accessible song on here, but you know, King Diamond is it's an acquired taste, man. Either you get it or you don't. You know, since I am such a huge fan of the King, you know, I've encountered many people that would tell me, yeah, I like the band. The band sounds good, but I can't get into King's voice. And, you know, to all you people, hey, I respect anybody's opinion, but I got to say, this is honest. This is complete honesty. If you can't get into King Diamond's voice, my condolences. Seriously. Because that guy, man, what he does to me when I hear him. And I'm talking about, King Diamond wasn't a thing that grew on me. The first time my friend walked into his band studio with the EP, this was before Melissa, and he put Corpse Without a Soul, which has probably the most insane King Diamond vocals. I got it just like that. I was like, oh my God, who is this freak? But Halloween, yeah, very accessible song, which is a move if they did make it a single, because, you know, I got the picture disc. All right, and it brings the lake. It brings Halloween, the Candle, and the Lake. The Lake is a bonus track, which I will talk about. I think it was re-released on the CD. But anyway, next one is Voices in the Past, which is kind of like the metallic version of To One Far Away from Don't Break the Oath, where it's all guitar. All the guitars on that is actually King Diamond. King Diamond playing those crazy riffs, man. And then you have, like, you know, Mickey D and those weird little keyboard, you know, bang, bang, bang. Oh my God, it's short. How short is it? So 1 minute and 29 seconds, but it's so effective. Absolutely love it. Then it ends with the final song of the story of Fatal Portrait, Haunted, which is about when the mom went insane because the daughter, you know, just haunted the hell out of her after she burned a portrait. And amazing, just amazing. And as I said, the bonus track is The Lake, which is an awesome song. And the last time I saw King Diamond, I was shocked he played it. I've seen King Diamond, let's see how many times I've seen King Diamond. I saw the Abigail tour, them, then he didn't come for the longest time. He didn't come back till House of God. And I saw the Puppet Master, and I saw that last one where he didn't have a new album, though he played something from the Institute. That was three years ago, I think, and that album's still not out, still not even finished, you know. Yeah, The Lake to me, man, that night, I mean, it was probably the highlight, you know, because God damn, he's playing The Lake, which is a bonus track. But, you know, I mean, I love the story, and I was saying this the other day to a friend. My favorite is this. But, you know, my second favorite's Abigail. And Abigail, the story's sick and awesome. But to me, the greatest King Diamond story, for me, is Them Conspiracy. That movie, if done right, by a killer director, and just a studio throwing a lot of money at it, would be an amazing movie. You know, it would just be phenomenal. Because that story's sick. So is The Graveyard. The Graveyard is probably the most disturbing story, but Them, that is, like they call him the Stephen King of metal. But King Diamond should have movies of all his albums, really, you know. The guy writes awesome horror stories, including this one, even though it's not a full concept album, just the story alone, which is a short story, side 1 and the last track on side 2. Phenomenal. All hail King Diamond, man. I love the King. I got to meet the King. He's the coolest guy, man. It was such an honor to meet him. And what can I say? I'm a huge fan of King Diamond, Merciful Fate, everything this guy does. I don't really think he's done a bum album. Some albums are not as good as the other. If I was to rank the worst, it'd probably be Abigail 2, because I don't think it stacks up to the original Abigail. But it's not a bad album. It's really not, you know. Give Me Your Soul, Please wasn't that great. Yeah, that I would put down there too. But they all are good, in my opinion. He's got a solid discography, including all the Merciful Fate stuff, where I would put probably Dead Again at the bottom. But I still love it. I love it all. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great, safe Halloween. Don't get stabbed by Michael Myers is all I'm asking you. And be good, everybody. Hey, if you like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please, donate to my channel if you have not. So, stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a gob the Jonah!